What's up, champs? Sunwell Plateau is closing up on us, and since there's a little bit of controversy what MAGE specialization will be performing the best, I would like to go through some simulations. You can join me on this journey and see for yourself if Arcane will remain the king, Fire will take its spot, or maybe the Deep Frost will be wildcard. Just sit back, relax, and let's do it. Okay guys, so what I wanna do is run some simulations obviously, but usually I'm using this DPS Mage simulator. The thing is that this one cannot really calculate deep frost damage because it's not built to calculate water elemental. So I will just close this one and I will be using this one simulator. If you want to use it, I will put the link to it down below the video. So here I got a spreadsheet and I will be putting results there. The thing is, I will be calculating fight length for 3 minutes, 6 minutes, and 9 minutes encounters. At the moment, most of the fights are taking like 2 or 3 minutes, but obviously in Sunwell Plateau, the fights will be longer at the beginning totally. And let's say the shortest fights will be about 3 minutes. 6 minutes is, the average fight. Brutals has like 6 minute enrich timer, so you'll be probably hitting those times. And fight like Kill Jadon is usually taken about like 9 minutes. So you can see how different classes with different gear levels are performing on a different encounter lengths, let's say. So let me just put here 3 minutes, 6 minutes, and 9 minutes. Yeah, and just as I said, I will be looking at different gear levels. Like first level is phase 4 best in slot, because that's what you wanna be wearing when you step into Sunwell, or you will probably be close to it. Yeah. Second level, I will be calculating for like mid Sunwell gear. Let's say Felmist is the fourth boss, so I will be calculating for theoretically best in slot gear that can be obtained up to Felmist, receipts and treasure drops included. So Felmist geared. Okay, and the third level is Sunwell full geared. Now, don't. I would say I was trying to go for like a best in slot Sunwell geared, but obviously it would take me a lot of time to fiddling around with different sockets and trying to switch different pieces to really maximize and squeeze the last drop of juice out of it. So the same as the Felmis gear, I just scrapped around what I expected to be the best, played a little bit around with it, and it should be like at least close to best in slot. It will give you perspective how the different gear levels are performing. And now, as I said before, I want to be looking at arcane specialization, fire specialization, as well as a frost specialization. So, one last thing is that many arcanes are running with innervate. If they're lucky enough, some like me are not getting innervate as so much often, or maybe at all. So I will also split arcane for like two different calculations. One with one innervate and one with no innervates. Okay. So let's say arcane plus inner. Let me put it here. Okay, I will copy this for just arcane with no innervate. And here will be fire. Here will be frost. Okay, fire, frost. And now we are all set. One last thing I would like to point out, at least in my guild, this is what we do, that arcanes are going with Resto Shaman and Shadow Priest, and so I will be using Resto Manatai Totem in buffs. I will not be using Totem of Wrath for arcanes, and I will not be using Boomkin Aura. When I switch to calculating for fire and for frost, there will be used Totem of Wrath from Elemental Shaman and not Manatai Totem. But if you're lucky enough to have a Moonkin in your group, it will be even higher boost for you. But I will not be counting on it here for the sake of some consistency. And we can start. Let's start a party. So we are beginning with arcane specialization. Okay, this is my setup. You can see the talents. It's just regular arcane specialization, and a gear. I will be putting this arcane phase 4 bis. Now we start with 3 minutes encounters, and we can start a party. Now, this is one table filled, and we can go down to arcane with no innervates. Okay. All the other settings are remained the same. I will go back to phase 4 best in slot gear, and we can start with 3 minutes encounters again. Now, 2, 4, 4, 1 for 3 minutes, 6 minutes. Now we are finished with arcane specializations. Now this was the easy part. Fire and frost are going to be a little bit more tricky because you don't always want to use the same armor and the same potion actually, but I will get to that. Now we will start definitely with fire. As you can see, I have switched from Mana Times Totem to Totem of Wrath. I also switched Elixir, and here you can see the talents. It's standard fire build with Icy Veins. I will also go to fire gear, fire phase 4 best in slot. And one last thing is that I will be putting improved scorch debuff on a boss, because I expect that there's more mages in a raid, and if the specialization is better than the other two, it's expected that all the mages will be running the best one. Yeah. So we can start with a 3 minutes fight. Okay. One last thing, it's a short fight. You will probably want to use molten armor, and we will be checking the difference between distraction potion and super mana potion. On a short fight, you will most likely be getting better results with distraction potion, but we will see. Okay, 2296. Let's run it once more with super mana potions. Yeah, you can see that this one is a little lower. But on a 6 minutes fight, it might be different. Let's go back to Destruction Potion and to Molten Armor. Okay, you can see that on a 6 minutes fight, in your phase 4 gear, you will be doing 1932 DPS. if I switch from Destruction Potion to Super Mana Potion, you can see that there is a huge leap. It's about 230 DPS higher. So even if you play in Fire Mage and the fights are longer, you wanna go up to using Super Mana Potions. Now, if you go even higher with the fight length, let's see the difference again. Now, 1600, that's really low. Okay, now if I switch again Distraction Potion for a Super Mana Potion, you can see that we are 200 DPS up. 1806. Yes. And actually, we can add even a mage armor to the mix, and you can see that again on the fight that is so long. You wanna be using mage armor as well. Cool. Now for the last part, Frost specs. I will be going with these talents, standard Deep Frost with Water Elemental as well as Arcane Meditation. What we don't do is switch definitely for Molten Armor. Definitely want to use Destruction Potion because you know the Frost is the least demanding mana-wise, and we are staying on the same buffs as Frost as Fire. Just we'll be using a Winter Chill, not a improved Scorch. You know. Now I will switch the gear for Frost. The thing is, I'm using here the reckless sockets with haste. They are coming with Sunwell Plateau, but of course when you will be stepping in the Sunwell, you will have your gear, but you can also put the new sockets on it. So there. And I will just switch to 3 minutes fight and we can start a party, I believe. Okay champs, these are the results of our simulations. So, what we can see here. Now, if we look at the moment you will be stepping in the Sunwell, you can see that on a short fights, the Arcane is staying on top, no matter if you are having innervate or no innervate, you will be doing the most DPS as Arcane Mage. If you look on 6-minute fights and 9-minute fights, you can see that Fire catch up and even is beating Arcane with no innervate just a little bit, but it's about the same. Of course, if you are having innervate as Arcane Mage, you are staying on the top. Frost is behind, not by much, but still behind. Yeah. Now, if you are venturing a little deeper into Sunwell Plateau and you are lucky enough to be getting all the gear, so maybe in a few weeks you can reach Felmist level gear, and this is the result we are looking at here. Arcane with innervate is staying on the top of DPS meter throughout all the fight lengths. If you are not having innervate as arcane mage, which might be very much true, because you know Sunwell Plateau will be more demanding on healers, and they might actually not only take your innervates, they can even take Shadow Priest from you on some fight. So yeah, if you are not having innervate, Fire Mage will be catching up even more on a short fights, but Arcane is still on top. On a longer fights, Arcane is taking a place and beating you. Frost is just below Arcane, not by much, but still below. Now, when we look on the last level of gear I have calculated for, we're talking about base or something close to base. You can see that on a 3 minutes fight with innervate, you are still the king. But if we are looking at a 6 minute fight, you can see that Arcane with no innervate gets beaten not only by fire but also by Frost Mage, and well, pretty decently. On a 9 minutes fight, fire is not so strong. You can see that full level gear Sunwell is even lower DPS than Felmist level gear, because you are pushing for the DPS for the burst, and you are losing the mana efficiency from mana regaining stats on your gear. You see, now on the longest of the fights, actually Frost Mage is the highest DPS, and not only compared to Fire and Arcane with no innervates, but also compared to Arcane Mage with innervate. So there you go. Some conclusion. Let's say when you are starting your Sunwell Plateau journey, you probably want to stay arcane at least for some time. If you are having your raid buffs, of course. If you are having no innervate as well as no Shadow Priest, that is another story. Maybe you can start going as fire right from the beginning. But let's say you will keep your buffs, at least Shadow Priest, you wanna stay definitely arcane for some time. Now, when you will be like mid Sunwell geared, you might wanna go for fire, because especially on mid-length fights, so it's like you know, average fight length, you will be beating definitely Arcane with no innervate as well as Frost, and you will be shoulder to shoulder with Arcane with innervate. On the longer fights, you will be doing just good. You will be probably on the top as well. Now, when we talk about the really end game, when we are like fully base geared or very close to full base geared, even Frost is becoming very viable, especially on longer fights where it can really shine. But as you can see, even on a short fights or actually on different gear levels, Frost is nothing to be frowned on. You know, many people are saying, you know, Frost, it's on like PvP spec, it has no place in raid, it's lacking DPS hard. I mean, in most situation, you will be doing less DPS, but we are talking like, you know, 50 less DPS or 100 less DPS. It's basically like what, like maybe 4%, 3% less DPS. So it's, if you put it into perspective, it's very close. It's very close. If you're not like pushing for speed runs or super hardcore performance, it's nothing to be afraid of to playing Frost. And this is it for me. I mean, definitely if you're playing different setup, raid-wise, you know, you are having maybe Boomkin, or you're having more innervates than just one or zero, or something completely different, you will have different results. So And if that is the case for you, you got different simulations, just share it with me down in the comments. I would love to interact with you. I would like to read your opinions on that matter. Or maybe you want me to test some special setup for you. Maybe if there is enough people asking for that, I can do that. And that's it this time for me. I hope that you find this video educational. Maybe you enjoyed it. If that is the case, just you know the drill, soldiers. Smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell button, and stuff. It will make my day, definitely. Remember that all of you have been born to be a champion, and see ya next time.
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head constantly, thoughts jumbled round, think I need a new lobotomy.